innovation isn't about devices, code, or capital. It's about people, and it's about our relentless desire to solve, to connect, and to understand. Every wave of innovation, from mobile to AI, has expanded the way humans experience the world and each other. We're entering a whole new era where innovation is no longer just about what we can build, but who we can become.
Okay, welcome to the Rabasha Family Podcast. Now, I have a very, very special guest here. I've spoken with Roman before. We have Roman Kikta. He is an entrepreneur, investor, author, and anthropologist, at heart on a mission to bridge the gap between human behavior and advanced AI. As the founder of Phenometrix, he leads a team developing revolutionary AI-driven personality decoding technology that identifies and reads phenotypes, facial makers, language patterns, and behavioral cues to predict compatibility in careers, teams, relationships, and beyond. Roman's goal is to make the right fit. And it's no guesswork, but it's a science. What we see with people like Roman, visionaries, over 30 years of leadership in technology, venture capital, corporate strategy, Roman has consistently driven multi-billion dollar growth at global powerhouses with plenty of powerful examples. Now, you may see my passion is because we're not just here talking about what it is he does. He actually put this into practice, and I want to go into what he did and how he showed me. But his powerful areas of expertise: AI-driven personality decoding, behavioral analytics, early stage venture investment, scale strategies, fund management. I can just go on and on. So it's a pleasure to have you on, and thank you, Roman, for blessing us with your presence.
Well, Sugera, it's a pleasure and honor to be on your program. And, thank you for your very kind words with that introduction.
Not a problem at all. So, Roman, before we go into the technicalities and this amazing startup you've built, can you take us a little bit back? I just mentioned their 30 years. People may see you, they may see your status, they may see the experience you've had, but they don't see the struggles. They don't see the hard times. They don't see the times when maybe no one saw the vision and the passion that you had. So can you take us back on where it started? Where did this vision for your life begin, and how did you get to where you are now?
Marketing is all about storytelling. Dad, when we first started this business, what did you say to me?
I said, yes, we do a podcast.
Why?
Because I want to tell our story.
Why?
Because I know the story builds a legacy.
Builds a legacy. And that is exactly what we do here at ETS Rabasha Media. We market your story on social media so you could build a legacy for those who come after you, to build your business and your personal brand.
Yeah, follow us on our platform. Go on our website, etsrabashamedia.com.
This is about legacy, and it is about showing up on social media every single day, because if you don't show up, your competition will.
Well, what keeps me excited is the endless evolution of possibility. After 3 decades in technology and venture capital, I've learned that innovation isn't about devices, code, or capital. It's about people. And it's about our relentless desire to solve, to connect, and to understand. Every wave of innovation, from mobile to AI, has expanded the way humans experience the world and each other. And today, with technologies like my company doing at Phenometrix, we're entering a whole new era where innovation is no longer just about what we can build, but who we can become. And I'm really fascinated by how technology can illuminate the human condition, decoding not just our data, but our personality, emotions, motivation, and potential. That's the kind of innovation that inspires me, the kind that reconnects us with our humanity, that uses intelligence, whether it's artificial or otherwise, to elevate empathy, trust, and understanding. For me, innovation has never been about disruption. It's always about discovery, discovering new ways how to make life more meaningful, connected, and profoundly human.
Powerful. So you started off and you talked to something that sparked my curiosity: in infinite possibilities. Can you give an example in your life where you experienced infinite possibilities? I love that, because there's nothing that's impossible. And even just without AI, we could talk about AI, but is there any time in your life where you experienced the magic of infinite possibilities?
Well, my latest startup and what really inspired the vision behind Phenometrix and turning personality decoding into a science. Phenometrix is not just another business venture. It's the beginning of a mission that's very deeply personal to me. And it's really to unlock the mysteries of human interaction, to heal fractures in relationships, and to empower individuals to understand one another in ways that were previously unimaginable. Phenometrix was born from a very simple yet profound belief that technology, when wielded ethically and responsibly, can illuminate the complexities of human condition and bring people closer together. I envisioned a world where AI can be a bridge, not a barrier, where it can reveal the intricacies of our personalities, untangle the threads of our genetic predispositions, and help us connect without the distortions of human bias. So at its core, Phenometrix integrates cutting-edge AI, genetics, behavioral science to offer insights that until now lived only in the realm of science fiction. Now, a single photo, a fleeting selfie can decode the essence of an individual, their innate tendencies, their potential, their unique capabilities with others. It's fast, it's accurate, and I'm going to tell you, it's revolutionary. The first time a client experienced the insights of Phenometrix, there was silence. They were stunned. They were breathless by the technology. How could a machine understand so much about a person from a single image? And yet that all gave way to unease because questions began to surface. What does this mean for privacy? Would we label people as good or bad? Can this be used to discriminate individuals, categorize them, or exclude them? And these concerns were not just theoretical. These became deeply personal to me, and I knew that I had to confront them head on. So I developed this technology with a single purpose: to serve the good, to enhance relationships between parents and children, between teams and leaders, between companies and customers, to foster an understanding where there was once division. Now there's going to be clarity. And, even with its purest intentions, I know that no technology is immune from misuse. History has shown us time and again. The cell phone, as an example, is a tool for connectivity and productivity, but it's also a tool for distraction, addiction, and even societal harm. The internet, a wellspring for knowledge, has been a breeding ground for misinformation and exploitation. And I'll tell you, Phenometrix faces the same challenges. Its potential to uplift is matched only by its potential to harm. And this is why I focus on ethical use. And that to me is an imperative.
And so on the ethical part, because I think that's a very great point, what considerations guide you, that help you build this technology? What are some of those considerations?
Well, developing AI tools that decode personality or emotions is really changing our ability to translate complex human signals, which are personality traits, expressions, language, tone, decision patterns, into really meaningful psychological insights. At Phenometrix, we're not claiming AI understands people the way humans do. We're teaching it to recognize patterns that make understanding possible. Now, when you combine behavioral science, data from millions of human interactions, and ethical, and I stress ethical AI modeling, you start to see a portrait of a person that's remarkably precise and predictive. We're able to decode traits like confidence, empathy, openness, resilience, plus some 170 others, and map how they interact between individuals to forecast compatibility in relationships, leadership teams, and even negotiations. So are we there yet? Not fully, but we're at a point where AI can illuminate aspects of human nature we've never been able to measure before. The next frontier isn't AI replacing intuition, it's AI enhancing it and helping us understand ourselves and each other with more depth, accuracy, and compassion than ever before.
The way I like to think of AI is, human intelligence and artificial intelligence is enhanced intelligence. Exactly. That's really the formula, right? I mean, this Phenometrix is quite powerful. And when you had just sent me before this call, I was absolutely stunned. So I want to actually lead this to the CEOs. This is quite powerful on recruitment. My goodness, are you kidding me? Like now when we're interviewing people, the people that now come in, you're saying we just add the image of someone and then you add the name and then it comes up with all the data. Is that correct?
Yes. And it does this automatically. So your phenotype, which is the observable characteristics of the genome, tells you everything about you as an individual. As you know, your DNA will tell you not only who you are, where you come from, what diseases you're susceptible to, but companies now can predict from your DNA, your personality, and they can recreate what you look like. What we do is, if you follow that logic, we do the reverse engineering of that. If we know what you look like, we know what the markers are for various aspects of your features, then we're able to decode that, and we've correlated that to personality and their associated behaviors. So I look at the power of AI really lies in its ability to process and to analyze data at scales far beyond human capabilities. But with this power, AI does not and cannot understand the moral weights of its actions. AI systems are not moral agents. They don't have intentions. They don't understand the consequences of their actions. This is why responsibility for ethical AI lies not with the algorithms, but it lies with us, the humans who design, deploy, and regulate these systems. We can marvel at the capabilities of AI. We can easily forget that behind every algorithm is a series of human decisions, what data to use, what patterns to prioritize, what outcomes to optimize. Decisions are not neutral. They are a reflection of human values and biases. And when those biases go unchecked, consequences can be devastating. This is why algorithmic bias is one of the most pressing ethical challenges of our time. While AI is often praised for its objectivity, it is only as unbiased as the data it learns from. And when the data reflects historical inequalities, then AI can perpetuate and even amplify those inequalities. Algorithms are opinions embedded in code, and those opinions can have life-altering consequences. And what I will tell you is we've developed our system to be completely void of any human bias. We do not look at gender, race, sexual orientation, religion, or any of those demographical types of information. Because if I am looking for the right fit, and as an example, if I'm looking for a customer service representative, I'm looking for an individual who has high empathy, compassion, kindness, sociability, not a personality that is dominant, aggressive, combative. It's all about the right fit. And that's what Phenometrix is all about, identifying without human bias the right fit.
And even some of the other things, like you said, the religion, race, it doesn't really even matter at the end of it. I think, to get all the qualities out of someone like this, when you sent me that, what I had sworn, I was absolutely astonished, which I have a question, but what I will say, I was astonished because I saw the great qualities that it was very correct about that I have, and that leads me. I was like, yeah, that's fair enough. But I looked at the weaknesses. I looked at some of my weaknesses, and I got goosebumps because I'm like, it's true. I do have these weaknesses. For example, the one that I saw that stood out to me was I'm a people pleaser. It's I have a difficulty in saying no because I lead with my heart. I said, I've got to send this to my fiance because she will tell me these things sometimes, some of those weaknesses. So I think if she was to see it, she'd be like, oh my goodness. So my next question a little bit, because I want to go into how powerful this is, relationships. We work with matchmakers, so it's incredibly powerful. My question would be also a personal brand. If you put in the name, does also someone's personal brand and what they've done like around the internet and all that also help your technology with being able to see who someone is?
Absolutely. So we can decode an individual, just the anonymous face in the crowd,
Hmm.
just by their appearance. But if we do have insights to an individual's background, their work history, where they grew up, where they were educated, and so on, any of those data points gives our AI additional insights to formulate that report. And what we're doing is we're looking at trait theory, various behavioral sciences, relationship, leadership styles, management. There's a lot of information that we source from our large language models to help create that insightful report that will help you with self discovery, self awareness, and psychological maturity. Because once we know our strengths and weaknesses, we're able to grow, uh, you know, as individuals.
Wow. And how has this been impactful again? So for example, matchmaking, right? So here in Australia, we work with executive matchmaking. They work with CEOs, politicians, and every time I'm around them, I learn about their business too. And for them, it's a science, right? To be able to match make people, it's, they're also so passionate about it. So, and they've been doing that just, I guess, themselves. So this technology, I mean, can help amplify their job and make it so much easier, even giving their customers an insight a little bit into who they are, giving them this type of report. So how has this reacted in the market with this such powerful technology?
Yeah. So, I believe that our technology is fundamentally rewriting the language of human connection.
Mm.
For generations, we've relied on intuition, chance, and often bias to decide who we trust, who we hire, love, or follow. Now, Phenometrix uses AI not to replace human intuition, but to illuminate it. By decoding subtle cues in our faces and communication styles, we're making the invisible visible. We're turning chemistry, compatibility, character into something that's both measurable and meaningful. In dating, that means helping people connect not just through photos because you like the way they look or their profiles, but through authentic personality alignment, understanding someone who they are, not just how they present themselves. Professionally, it transforms hiring, teamwork, and leadership by revealing the deeper traits that drive motivation, empathy, and trust. So ultimately, I see technology, when built ethically and used responsibly, really as a bridge between data and humanity. The future of connection isn't an algorithms replacing emotion, it's AI amplifying our capacity to understand one another with greater depth, accuracy, and compassion.
Wow. And with your work with global brands and startups, what does keep you still excited about innovation? Obviously, after 3 decades, tech venture capital, what excites you about this?
Well, what I will tell you, what excites me probably more than anything is I see, one, it's my company. I believe that AI driven personality decoding is going to completely redefine how we identify, develop, and empower human potential. And for decades, you've had industries, recruitment, leadership coaching have relied on self-reported surveys, subjective, impressions, even though they're useful, but I believe they're limited. What AI now allows us to do is to see beneath the surface, to decode patterns of confidence, empathy, creativity, resilience, and decision making directly from something as subtle as your facial cues. That becomes very, very powerful because in recruitment, that means finding not just the most qualified person, which they're going to be looking at the years of experience you have, they're going to be looking at your education, your industry, and so on. But I believe it's going to be who is the most compatible and who is the right fit. Do someone's motivations and personality align with the culture and mission of the organization? I think in leadership coaching, it means creating deeply personalized development paths based on how individuals think, communicate, and lead. And we're moving towards a world where every leader can have a digital mirror, a dynamic reflection of their personality, their strengths, their blind spots, powered by, data, but interpreted through humanity. And I believe when it's used ethically, this technology won't replace human judgment, it's going to enhance it. It will help organizations build teams with greater emotional intelligence, trust, and cohesion, not just more effectively. And I believe that the next era of leadership isn't about managing performance, it's about understanding people at their core. And AI is the bridge that will finally make that possible.
Extremely possible. And I'm also now intrigued also into the for companies even to understand their consumers, right? Maybe even getting a customer to come in and putting their image in and trying it on them to understand why they buy, what are their motivations, and so they can market towards those pain points. Now, is that ethical?
Well, what I can tell you is I have friends that are in sales and they've had a long-standing career, 20, 25 plus years selling. And what they tell me is that they can look at an individual, size up that individual, and they know what that individual is all about from their experiences. What we're doing is taking that 25 plus years of experience and know-how and creating a tool that will give you that insight in seconds, not 25 years of experience. So this becomes a very, very powerful tool.
And I like in the sales, my goodness, absolutely. Like I can so understand that. Imagine you're going into a sale to have this technology, you understand them, you get where they're coming from, and then you're able to appeal to that. And how has it been? Are you looking for investors? Because we have a lot of people who tune in, venture capital, private equity. I mean, this is revolutionary.
Well, thank you for saying that. It is. And, we are currently fundraising. We're raising a Series A. And what we want to do is take our products and make them available globally. And again, this is to serve humankind. This is not to replace humans, but to improve the human condition. As I said, that's the primary reason why I started this company.
Yeah, powerful. I have so many ideas because this is something that will definitely go quite global because of the way it is. Like this is how you've been able to use your vision. And so with the compatibility, which I was quite interested, the compatibility scores and predictive analysis, do you think AI can truly help us make better decisions around, let's say, love and leadership, again, with using something like this? Because like you've just said in this podcast, intuition, yes, but now having this technology, even just not even for a business, like, maybe I'm going out on a date or, in my love life, right? Like we're talking about changing the way dating forever. Like, yes, of course I can go with my intuition, but hey, you know what? Maybe I'm dating this person. We're all good, but sometimes a lot of people get false guided by their intuition sometimes, and so I could avoid the little heartbreak. Let me just find out a little bit more, boom, put in the image, and then I can understand. So if something happens, I say, oh, well, I mean, I had the report on this. So yeah, do you think how you see that with love and leadership?
Yeah, so what I will tell you is this, in a world where AI, like Phenometrix, which can predict compatibility, I would say one thing that's very important, being human means remembering that a connection isn't a calculation. It's a choice. Technology can show us patterns, probabilities, even emotional signals, but it cannot replicate the essence of empathy, vulnerability, and trust that define human relationships, such as in love or in business. To be human today is to lead with intentionality. It's choosing to listen when it's easier to automate. It's caring about the why behind the data. Now, AI can decode personality, but only humans can decide to act with compassion, forgiveness, and courage. In business, that means valuing authenticity over efficiency, building cultures where understanding people matters as much as measuring performance. And in personal relationship, it means using insight not to control outcomes, but to nurture that connection. And the irony is that as AI gets better at mirroring us, it's also reminding us that what's irreplaceable human is our ability to feel, to choose, to love, and to see one beyond the algorithm.
And just to go back on, the investor side, with when you say you're fundraising, and this is also for my learning as well, who are the type of people who they see something like this and they say, I want in? Is it the venture capital side or is it the private equity side?
Well, I think you have a somewhat of a blending, especially as some of the VC funds uh, get very large. They're controlling billion-dollar or multi-billion-dollar portfolios or assets under management. They're beginning to act more like private equity. And we have a tool here that is unique and is foundational. It's about relationships. Companies are made up of people. Customers are made up of people. And when you have an understanding of people, which is what Phenometrix provides, you're getting insights that previously were not available in seconds. So what I believe here is we have an advantage to human understanding, and we've developed an AI that understands people from a photo instantly in seconds.
Amazing. And a little bit on your experience, you've worked at such big corporate companies, Nokia, Panasonic. What are one things the big corporates do really well in regards to leadership and, running a powerful company that the small business owners, because, you have small businesses, some from 50 million and under in annual revenue. So what, through that experience, did you see that a small business can apply in today's age?
Well, what I could tell you is this. At the end of the day, everything is about selling. And the future of marketing isn't about selling products. It's really understanding people. And, for decades, brands have asked who their customers are, their age, their income, their location, demographical type of information. But the real question is, why do they buy? What are their emotional needs, their values, their identities that drive their choices? Now, through Phenometrix AI and behavioral insight, we're now able to move beyond demographics into the realm of human motivation. At Phenometrix, we're decoding personality and intent, helping brands not just see the customer's face, but their mindset. I believe the future belongs to brands that connect emotionally, authentically, and individually. It's not about targeting mass audiences. It's about building relationships grounded in understanding. When marketing evolves from persuasion to empathy, from data to depth, it stops being advertising and starts becoming human connection at scale.
Human connection at scale, and it's incredibly so true. That's what it is. It's about really understanding the customer and having that empathy. And within your experience, obviously having traveled across so many countries, what's one thing that has been, especially within those experiences, a leadership and investment philosophy that you've carried over time?
Probably the most enduring lesson that I've learned, and I've worked for a couple of very large companies, Nokia and Panasonic. And what I've learned is that true leadership isn't about managing technologies. It's really about understanding humanity through technology. And while those companies were at the forefront of global innovation, Nokia was, a leader in the wireless internet in the 90s when things were, in its infancy stages. And Panasonic was developing some incredible consumer products at that time. I would say both companies were at the forefront of global innovations, but what made them remarkable wasn't the devices that we built. It was how those devices reshaped how people live, communicate, and connect. And what I've learned was that great leaders don't chase disruption for its own sake. They listen deeply, they observe human behavior, and they anticipate needs that people can't yet articulate. And I will tell you, one of the greatest anthropologists out there, though he did not consider himself to be an anthropologist, was Stephen Jobs at Apple. Jobs made it his mission to understand people, and he immersed himself in various cultures to understand and to develop products that people did not even know they wanted. And I believe that what he was able to do was really anticipate the needs that people couldn't articulate. And he developed technology that was built on human emotion, trust, and connection. And that perspective still guides me today. And that was why I started Phenometrix. I was building AI that decodes personality, and I wanted to start with one question. Does this make us more human? Because everything that technology needs to do is to be focused on creating products that enhance our lives, whether it's productivity, efficiency, or pure enjoyment. And at the end, I believe that leadership in the age of AI isn't about commanding machines. It's about amplifying empathy, insight, and the essence of what makes us human.
But like, just out of curiosity, because I want you nearly answered it there, but like, where did the thought even come from about decoding, like a human's personality? Where did that even, like, where did that even come from? Like, that's what I'm really intrigued in.
Well, I would tell you, since the beginning of time, humans have always been focusing on how to better understand one another. And, our tech is grounded in academic research. If you visit our website, we have some 120 plus articles and academic research that has been cited, which has been, the foundation for our technology, for the methodology that drives our technology. Humans have always been trying to understand one another,
and that curiosity now led you to Phenometrix. So, wow, quite powerful, Roman, and being able to just see the way your imagination has led you here. Just quickly, for the entrepreneurs who are upcoming, has there ever been a really challenging part of your life whether it was Phenometrix, wherever, that was really, really challenging, and you can open up to us about, like, building up a business, whatever that point was? Where was the most challenging part in your life?
I would say, I've had, a lot of challenging aspects throughout my career. And I would say sometimes the biggest challenge is, when you have an idea, and I would say what sets me apart from a lot of other individuals is that I'm very, very open-minded. And being open-minded means being curious. I don't always have all of the answers, but for me, I have this insatiable need to continuously learn. And I make a conscientious effort to surround myself with people who will challenge my assumptions. A lot of these are entrepreneurs half my age. I deal a lot with academics in various disciplines, researchers of technology, and I like to see the world through their eyes. For me, some of the biggest challenges have been dealing with individuals that would not understand my vision or my ideas. It's not that the ideas were far-fetched or wrong. It's just that I did not know how to effectively communicate with them. So I consider myself, and I'm told that I'm a very visionary individual. I'm a big picture thinker and so on. And as such, when I'm dealing with individuals that are highly conscientious, highly logical, rational, pragmatic thinkers, they tend to be very skeptical. They look for proof points. And the biggest challenges that I've had previously was dealing with those individuals because I did not speak their language. So I'm coming in excited about an opportunity, very enthusiastic, passionate, and they go to me, where's the business case? Where is the proof points? Who are the customers using this? Because again, they're highly skeptical thinkers. They're very information or data focused. They're looking for proof points. And I didn't have that understanding. And that made for a very challenging and difficult interaction with one another. We've now developed those tools that give you insight to who you're dealing with. And it will tell you that, if you are dealing with an individual that is highly pragmatic, logical, and rational thinking, that when you're meeting with that individual, you have to be grounded in facts and in data. And so some of the most challenging interactions that I've had is because we miscommunicated with one another. And that always resulted in a deal not getting done, or an opportunity being put on a back burner because it was seen as being unprepared.
Yeah. And so in some of those moments, how do you kind of navigate around that? Is it moving on to the next deal, or is it just, okay, focusing on and maybe having a different environment? Can you end up kind of closing that person in a sense, or convincing them? Or do you just say, okay, let me just find my tribe?
Well, probably one of the most important things is to align yourself with like-minded people. It is a lot easier to be persuasive or captivating, with your vision when you're dealing with people that are open-minded. And, it's all about knowing your audience and knowing who you're presenting to. And this is one of the advantages that Phenometrix provides. We give you the tools that help you prepare for that interaction.
Helping prepare in a way that, has being able to, see that, which is quite powerful. So we have a part that we do, which is a quick fire question. So I actually want to do a game where I will say one word, and then the first thing that comes to your mind, you tell me. Yeah?
Sure.
Okay. So AI.
Understanding.
Explain.
I believe that AI gives us a path to amplify understanding of people or a subject matter of one another. But AI is, to me, a bridge to technology and humanity. It is the understanding that it provides.
Understanding.
CEO. I believe the CEO, and it depends on the organization, but I believe that a CEO, C, is for continuously encouraging others. CEO's main job is to continuously encourage others to be the best people that they can be, doing the best job that they can do.
Continually encouraging others. I've never heard someone say that. I think I'm gonna take that one now. Compatibility.
I would tell you, whether it's in business or in love or relationships, I believe that it is a decision. And by that, what I mean is that when we interact with someone, we decide how we want that relationship to develop or not. And ultimately, it is a decision. It's a decision to love, it's a decision to work with someone or not. But ultimately, it is a decision.
Vision.
Vision, it is your dream, how you vision an outcome, whether it's a product, a service, it's your dream and it's what drives you. It is your passion because you've created that vision. So you're going to be very passionate about it.
Powerful, powerful. I want to thank you so much, Roman. This has been an amazing, honestly amazing conversation. Where can people find you, number one? And then again, for all the investors who are watching, because I think this is quite powerful and we'll see who within our network, where can people find you? And yeah, what's happening now? You said you are fundraising. What are the next steps?
Sure. Reach out to me on LinkedIn, Roman Kikta, Roman, last name Kikta. You could reach me at Phenometrix.ai. Love to hear from you. What I will tell you is this. Thank you for your really thought-provoking questions. And, this conversation reminds me why I do what I do. And it's really to explore how technology can bring us closer to understanding ourselves and to one another. And I believe that innovation isn't about machines, it's about meaning. And I really appreciate that you've given me the opportunity, the platform to share my views, my thoughts. So thank you.
No worries at all. It's been a pleasure to have you. It's been a pleasure to get this out to more people, and also the fact that I get to learn from this. But I mean, just again, I think what really put it for me was actually practical. The fact that I actually got to experience it and see exactly what it is you're talking about, and that's why my mind is blown. That's why I'm calling it revolutionary. And yes, I definitely believe in your vision, and I can't wait to see where this goes. And if we can even help bring some investors on the table, that'd be fantastic, because it just makes sense. It just makes sense.
Well, I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. And everything is about collaboration. So I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. What I would tell you, I've sent you your report. If you want any other format or framework, let me know and I'll adapt it, show you the capabilities of our AI tech.
Awesome. Thanks so much. We'll keep in touch, and
Thank you.
have an amazing day. Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, what's wrong? Bro, I'm stressed out. I'm running my business. I've got to serve my customers, but I need more customers coming in. I can't keep relying on word of mouth. Why don't you just use ETS Rabasha Media? Who? Well, with AI now, what they do is they go in, get your perfect clients, bring them in front of you. So all I got to do is run my business and he brings me opportunities. Think about it. You speak to 3,000 of your ideal customers, convert 1% of that 3,000, that's 30 people. 30 people in a room with you, can you convert that? Of course I'll close them. I'm good at what I do. I just don't have time to be going and looking for my perfect client. Focus on what you love doing and let them bring you customers. When you win, they win, commission, ching. Sujira Rabasha, huh? Yeah, Sujira Rabasha. Go and Google them, man. Come on, take it to the bank.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're gonna love that one.